up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode here on Latin Splaining TV. My name is Denise Gonzalez. For the people that don't know me, for the ones that have been here for a while, I expect you guys to hit that like button, be subscribed, have the little bell going. You know how we go down here. Thank you guys for tuning in again. It's nice to be here twice this week so far, right? So it feels good to start coming back to our little stream rhythm, right? Um, Again, I'm gonna disclaimer. I feel better today than I did on Monday, but I'm still under this flu, cold weather, whatever you want to call it, right? So if you hear me or or don't get surprised. It's we're gonna roll with it, okay? Now, if you can hear me okay, just put an okay on the chat. If you cannot hear me, just say I can't hear you. If you can hear me, put an okay on the chat. So I can know that you guys can hear me properly. If I'm too loud, also let me know. Um, I want to say hi. Oh, thank you, Jose. I want to say hi to Jose. I see that Don Armando is here. Titi Juju, Risa Realm, Rakim, Irby. Thank you guys for starting the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in, being the first ones. Thank you for letting me know that my sound is okay. Guys, today is going to be a show that might get me canceled. It might. Thank you, MK. I love you. It might get me canceled. I kid you not. I started the stream on Monday with 632 subs. It went up to 688, and then today I think it sits at 640 something subs. So I'm getting a lot of people unsubscribe and some people are subscribing. So it's getting out of control because people are getting obviously sensitive about what I'm saying because they don't like the truth. Okay? That's just how it is. I've never seen in my time here on YouTube, of course, I've never seen that my opinion gets people to unsubscribe in large numbers like that. So I'm just gonna put it out there. My base tends to be mostly American Latinos and African Americans, and I've never seen so many unsubscriptions after Monday's episode. I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not pointing or pointing fingers, but I'm just gonna say that. Now, guys, as promised, I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram. For the people that don't know, my Instagram changed its name. Now it's Latin Explaining TV. I am changing a lot of things on the platform. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I'm not, this platform is under construction. We're still remodeling. There's a lot of stuff in our little casita that's still under construction, but little by little we're changing into something different. Our logo now, it's more professional. Things are looking better. And I promise you 2025 I'm coming back fully with content, with a schedule, and with shows. Now, today's show, you guys have seen all the madness going on with the mass deportations. As I stated on Monday, I am 100% in support of mass deportations. I am 100% in support of what's going on. I'm a pro-American worker. I'm pro-American. I am pro-prosperity, and I'm also pro-law. I've always stated this, and this specific value that I have, the pro-law, right? The pro-law enforcement, has got me in a lot of issues in the past with different groups of people. And now it's my own group of people that are hating on this specific value. But we have to understand that even though America has a lot of freedoms, we also have to understand it's a country where law and order exist, and we have to abide by it. Now, in the past, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But Radical has been around for about 7 years, I want to say. And today's show starts with the premise of the Radical Latino and his platform. And it's the Radical Latino has the last laugh. Of course, Radical is not laughing at anybody. Of course, you guys know how clickbait works. Anyway, but in the past, Radical Latino was a Dominican Ecuadorian American YouTuber that started a platform promoting the sentiment of Black and Brown unity. And the anchor for both of our communities to come together was to be against white supremacy and everything that that system entails, because that is our common enemy. So we saw, right, a lot of Latinos that we with much love remember as the slow taps. uh we saw them coming at Radical Latino and myself and anybody else. We saw them coming at Rad like crazy. They got into his personal business, they got into his products, they got into his channel, his personal life. They berated this man. Woo, they did a lot of stuff against Radical Latino just because he had the bravery to say, we Latinos are underneath whites and blacks in this country, and we lack the experience of winning battles with white supremacy. So we have to unite kindly and respectfully with the people that have done this so that we can both help each other in fighting white supremacy. To what a lot of people till this day thought Radical was crazy. Well, there was arguments said that there was no need for us to unite with people that were so called quote unquote at the bottom. And I remember that. I don't know if you guys remember, but I remember those arguments when Radical was told and Black Americans were told that they were at the bottom, and that's why nobody had to unite with them, that we didn't need Black people, that was a fallacy, and that we didn't need it to unite with them, right? And now look at where we at. Look at where we at. Look at the state that we are right now. If you can hear me right, put a number one in the chat. Put a number one in the chat. I don't know what's going on, but I think I cannot hear me. Can you guys hear me? Let's see. Let me see. Okay, I see that Jose put a number. Okay, so let's continue. I see that that Real Rican. There's no link. You got me. There's no link. There's no link. So yesterday I had the pleasure to join one of um not join but watch Dennis Sperling's stream, and it was so good. It was literally so good. And one of the things that caught my attention, because I didn't have the time to review lengthily his the debacle between Donald Trump and the president of Colombia. I didn't have the time to go through like all the details and read like his responses and the back and forth. I didn't have time to do that specifically because your girl is dealing with like 50,000 things on top of being a mom, being a wife, being, all kinds of stuff. So of course I was just going by what was going by the minute. And in 30 minutes or so, Gustavo Petro folded like an envelope and agreed with Donald Trump on whatever he wanted to do. But I want you guys to remember what was said in the past. That's something that caught my attention that Dennis Sperling shared on his stream when a lot of Black Americans and Radical Latino was told, right? We don't need to unite with black folks, and now they're being deported. Now, this is the letter. I don't know if you guys can see it. This is the letter that Gustavo Petro, Colombia's president, responded to Donald Trump after he had to fold like an envelope and receive the illegal migrants from his country. Okay, I'm gonna read it in Spanish, but I'm also gonna try to translate it in English for the people that cannot understand Spanish. So he says, Trump, a mí no me gusta viajar a los Estados Unidos. I do not like to travel to the United States. You know what? I'm gonna just translate it straight out. It's a little boring, but I confess that there are things with merit. I like to go to the black neighborhoods in Washington. Over there, I saw a battle in the capital of the United States between blacks and Latinos with barricades that I thought was an idiocracy because they should unite. Not said by Radical. This is not said by me. It's not said by nobody else. It's not said by African Americans. It's not being said by no other than the Colombian president. The Colombian president just said blacks and Latinos should unite. It's late. It's a little too late. I listen. I said it on Monday. I said it yesterday on Dennis Sperling stream, and I'm gonna say it today. Black Americans, you already endure slavery, being brought here against your will, the brutalities that entailed, Jim Crow, that segregation, forceful integration with disrespect, hangings, lynchings, picnics, etc. And now you're still going under discrimination, poverty, so on and so on. Sit this one out. This is not your plight. You're legal here. You're not being deported. Go have a nice latte. Go do a Pilates class if you want to feel like you're moving your body and doing something. If you get anxious, go do some kickboxing. I don't know, but sit this one out. It's not your fight. Keep the same energy that you saw the slow tech community have towards you during the 2020 riots. That same energy needs to live in you today. You're unbothered. Okay? Untouched by this. Keep it moving. Now let's continue with the letter. It says, I confess that I love Walt Whitman and Paul Simon and Noam Chomsky and Miller. I confess that Sacco and Vanzetti have my blood. In the history of the United States, they're memorable and I follow them. They were murdered by working leaders within the electric chair. The fascists that are inside of the United States, just like they're in my country. I do not like your oil, Trump. You're going to finish the human race because of your greed. Maybe one day, with a bourbon drink that I am willing to accept, even though I suffer from gastritis, we can sincerely talk to each other about this. But it's hard because you consider me an inferior race, and I am not, nor any Colombian. I don't know who has to tell Gustavo that Colombian is not a race. But let's continue. So he says, so if you know somebody stubborn, if you want to know someone that's stubborn, that is me, period. You might, with your strength, your economic strength, and your sovereignty, try to orchestrate a coup like you did with Allende. But I will die in my law. I resisted torture, and I will resist you. I don't want slavers near Colombia. We already have plenty and we freed ourselves. Uh, No comment. I'm not going to comment. What I want next to Colombia is lovers of freedom. If you cannot join me, I can go somewhere else. Colombia is the heart of the world, and you didn't understand that. This is the land of the yellow butterflies, the remedios beauty, but also of the Aurelianos Buendia colonels, colonels of what I am, perhaps the last. You can kill me, but I will survive in in my country that predates yours in the Americas. We are a group of people of what the heck? The winds, the mountains, the Caribbean Sea, and the freedom. You don't like our freedom. Okay. I am not I am not shaking hands with white slavers. I shake the hands of white freedmen, Lincoln descendants. Lincoln did not free this. Let me just keep going. And those of black farmers, black and white farmers of the United States. He keeps yesterday. I love how Dennis Sperling like expressed it. He keeps pointing at black people, and he says, uh, "Before their graves, I cried and I prayed in a battlefield." He has done none of this stuff, but let's continue. A battlefield that I landed on, and after changing the mountains of the Tuscan Italy, and after saving myself from COVID. They are the United States. And before them, I kneel before anybody else. So the president of Colombia is saying that he kneels before the Black American farmer, the Black American worker. But the slow taps, somebody put in the chat, slow taps are stupid. The slow taps missed what the president of Colombia could clearly see, what Radical Latino could clearly see, which is you need the Black American if you are to get something done in this country. That is a fact. You can kick, scream, punch the air, say you don't need them, say whatever you want to say, but you do. The president of Colombia, the president, is saying that he does, and he actually is saying that he will bend the knee. He will bend the knee. Let that sink in. He will bend the knee in front of Black American farmers. Now let's continue to read this. He says, "You can knock me down, President, and the Americas and humanity will respond." I'm sorry to break it to you, Gustavo, but the United States of America already knocked down Cuba and knocked down Puerto Rico. Nobody from the America Latina has ever come to our aid to free us and Cubans from the United States oppression. So you're gonna join a very long fucking way. That's just all I'm gonna say. Let's continue. Colombia now stops looking up north and it looks at the world. Our blood comes from the blood of Califato of Cordoba, the civilization back then of Latinos, Latin Romans from the Mediterranean Sea, the civilization, and he continues with this bullshit. I'm not gonna read this bullshit because, to be honest with you, none of this stuff is is relevant, right? To your people are in America breaking the law, right? So going back to the sentiment that I was talking about, which is like the radical Latino, what he was told constantly, the contrast of the president of Colombia now saying all of these things and trying to appeal at the hearts of Black Americans in desperation, because he knows that the people of Colombia cannot progress, they cannot prosper. There's nothing they can do. He ran out of hands to play in this poker game, you know, and Donald Trump won, because at the end of the day, we are all subservient to America. We don't have nuclear power, our military forces are depleted, we don't cultivate any product that we sell at the right price to even come back to the people and make it profitable. We don't protect our potencies like Venezuela. There's no fucking way Latin America, and I'm gonna put it out there. And I made streams about this 2 years and a half ago. How America was launching a bullying session against Venezuela because of their oil. There's no freaking way Latin America can survive without Venezuela. What we have done to protect Venezuelans, what we have done to receive them, to help them out, to if they want Maduro in or out, that is up to them. We're supposed to just help them stay strong and defend them against America. But because certain countries that I'm not going to name by name, because I don't want people to keep getting on their feelings, because certain countries, right, are on their greed era, and they rather think of themselves before thinking of Venezuelans or Cubans or Puerto Ricans. Of course, they're going to shake the hand of Sauron. They're going to get that ring and bend the knee. They're going to bend the knee. One ring to rule them all. And what is that ring? The American dollar. The American freaking dollar. And that is the reason why you have countries in Latin America that rather sell their soul to the forces of Mordor rather than to defend their people. That's why today we have no say, no power, nothing to pose any resistance against the United States for our people to have some form of trade, some hand to play. There's no reason for that, because every country has their own agenda. Every country has their own interest. And the only thing we can hope for is to wait till Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, Salvador, Venezuela, Costa Rica, Panama, Uruguay, Paraguay, Peru, Ecuador, Argentina, and Chile all go through some shit with the United States. That is the only way that our interests will come together. When all of those countries go through some shit, that's when we will have real Latinidad. Latinidad is a fallacy. We saw how Pan-Africanism, which is the Black version of Latinidad, collapsed because you cannot unite people based on love. They have to go through some stuff in order for them to unite, understanding if I don't unite with this country that resembles me and is a part of me, I'm in danger. The only way to ensure our survival is by union. But that's how you unite people. People only come together through crisis and chaos. That's why I am, as a Puerto Rican, I'm also sitting this one out. It's time for other Latinos to go through some stuff, because they don't understand American tyranny. We've seen them making fun of our colonial state. We see how they ignore Cubans in their crisis. We've seen them. And a lot of people will say, oh, yeah, but at some point Mexico sent help. Yes, thank you. You've sent help. Where's your army? Where is your army? Because I'm going to tell you something. I have so much respect for the Middle Eastern countries, because those countries rather just be, look at Syria and Yemen. They used to be normal civilizations. They rather go to war and they defend each other. They at least they are under that sentiment. We are not under that sentiment. European countries, they are under that sentiment. They form NATO. How NATO came to happen? All of them wanted to protect themselves against the Soviet Union. That's how that came to happen. Europeans don't play about their countries. They might have debacles and they argue with each other and stuff, but they come together. If you touch one of them, they all come bombard you back to hell. We don't have that. And that's what we always lose. That's what we're at the state we're at. And the reason for that is because we have different interests. So our only choice for the ones that have endured these problems with the United States of America, our only choice is to be ruthless with the ones that are not experienced or seasoned enough into this. And like I said, I know he's not laughing, but Radical Latino with this has the last laugh against the slow taps, even though they insulted him in the past, they berated him, they even went after some, even impersonated his mom, some try to insult his wife. They, man, they even brought that man's hairline into question. Okay. And this is the result. Even though he's not happy about what's happening, he's not laughing, but he has the last laugh. Because at the end of the day, like I said before, y'all thought we were playing when we were telling you you need to unite with people that know what they're talking about. You thought you knew, you thought you could get it done. And I heard a lot of people on my streams telling me, a lot of this Hispano taps used to tell me, oh, by 2032, by 2065, by 2047, we will be the number one majority in this country, and that's to America, and blah, 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 blah. How's that working out for you, my brother? How's that working out for you, mijo? Look at Rich around. He's like, not the hairline. They crossed the line now. What crossed the line is Radical's hairline. I can't really be mad about that because come on, bro. Radical, if you're listening, whatever, like, bro, you need that hat. You need that cap. Keep it on. Anyway, back to what I was telling you. Okay. This is the situation that will continue to happen if we don't come together, and it will get worse. My if I have to uh guess, it will get 10 times worse, because they're talking about deporting 50 million people. Okay, because they estimate that close to 50 million people are illegally in this country. So that is 34,246 people a day for 4 years. So I'm telling you, hey, Maceo, what's up? Thank you for tuning in. At some point, I'm going to open the panel so I can talk to you guys, but let me get my, my little talk out. Now, something that I also came across, right, on Dennis Sperling's stream. It was such a good stream. If you guys have the opportunity to go to Dennis Sperling after my stream, you definitely want to go watch that stream, because I'm telling you guys, it's so good. It is so good. Let me find something that I want to show you guys. There's something cooking in this country. There's something being cooked that's going to be messed up. And it's called the House Bill. Hold on. It's called the House Bill 1484. Okay. I posted it. I posted it, Jesus. I posted on my Instagram, right? And nobody was paying attention. Once again, Latinos, we're way freaking behind, right? The House bill in Mississippi, the House Bill 1484, right here. It's Mississippi legislator. This is 2025 regular session, okay? The House bill, and I want you to read with me before I share this. Let me do something. Guys, what's going to go down if you're an illegal migrant, if you have an illegal migrant family member, friend, or somebody that you really want to see again in your lifetime, even if it takes 5-10 years, I don't care how long, just call them now while you're watching my show and make sure you tell them to not come near Mississippi. I'm being very honest, straightforward. If they come into, as a matter of fact, Latinos get the heck out of Mississippi altogether. If you look ethnic, get the hell out. Get the hell out of Mississippi. That's all I'm gonna say, and you're gonna see why. Let's read this together because this is dark times. Dark times are ahead for Latin people. Okay. And the House Bill 1484 of 2025 says an act to create the Mississippi Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter Program. Let me read that again. An act to create the Mississippi Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter Program to provide definitions for to authorize bail bond agents and surety agents to enter the program, to create the crime of illegal trespassing by an illegal alien, to bring forward sections 833925, 833929, and 833931 Mississippi Code of 1972, which provide for bail agents and penalties for skipping bail, for purposes of amendment and for related purposes. And in layman's terms, what this means is that the state of Mississippi is about to create a program in which you, as a regular citizen, let's say you become a bounty hunter and you sign up for this program, you will get paid 1,000 to 1,500 per head of illegal immigrants that you bring forward. Mississippi is about to pay you $1,000 to $1,500 if you bring an illegal migrant forthwith. Okay. Now let's read what will happen to these migrants and why they're paying this money. And it says, be it enacted by the legislature of the state of Mississippi, for purposes of this act, the following words shall have the meanings described herein. Certified bounty hunter. This goes to just basically describe what we just read. We're about to read below. Means a person who, one, possesses a valid unexpired license as a bail bond agent. Any American can get that. General bail bond agent. Any American can get that. Or surety recovery agent. Again, same thing. And two, is certified under this act to find and detain illegal aliens in this state. Department means the Department of Public Safety. Illegal alien means a person who is not lawfully present in the United States, as defined and described under 8 U.S.C. Section 1101 ET Sec as amended. Life imprisonment. Now we're getting into the crazy terms, bro. Now we're getting into the dark part. Look at this. This is the dark part of this. Life imprisonment means imprisonment for the duration of a person's life. You get my point? I'm not going to read the whole thing, but woo! They want to hire people under that bounty hunter program and send them out to hunt people. I'm going to tell you something. I have family members, people related to me by blood, that I swear on my life that they are so useless. And the only thing they do is eat, process oxygen, and create problems. And I will trade those people for a Pop Tart. Okay. I'll turn them in for a Pop Tart. Okay. So I am not going to blame nobody, no fellow Latino that's like, hey, well, I'm broke. Eggs are expensive, right? look at look at Morena. She's like, it's going to become a witch hunt. Jesus. Yeah, 100%. 100%. 100%. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but shit, it was tempting. Eggs, guys, before you judge me, eggs are $13 in the state. And I know a lot of people are gonna tell me, "Oh, Denise, but you can buy the eggs that are $7." Yes, I could. I choose not to because I don't want to keep putting GMOs and antibiotics and bullshit in my system. And I don't do it to my son. I can eat them because, of course, we're fucked up, but not my kid. And his eggs are $13. Okay, thank you. No, but joking aside, guys, I'm just telling you what's coming. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, right, is first, kudos to Rat. At some point, we were going to become the hunted. There was one stream. I couldn't find it, but there was one stream where Radical told Domran that he needed, because he was questioning why he needed to unite with blacks. It was like, you need to unite with blacks even for your own survival. And look at this. Marcel says, I need money, but I wouldn't do some shit like that. They probably confuse me along with the migrants and deport me. Yeah, 100%. But you know what, Marcel? I want to be deported to Puerto Rico, but I want to be deported to Puerto Rico after June 26th. Like, can I be deported after June? I'm going to look it up. I want to be a government funded vacation. Shit. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, guys. The reason why I am bringing this up, right, is because, like I mentioned before, there is an estimated amount of 50 million, roughly, we know it's more than that, roughly 50 million illegal aliens in this country, right? And like I mentioned before, we will need to deport 34,246 migrants per day in order for those 50 millions in the next 4 years to be deported. And I'm going to be very honest. I'm not trying to fearmonger here, but I can see this program being implemented nationwide. I don't know if you follow what I'm trying to explain, but we don't have the infrastructure to deport 50 million people in 4 years. I don't care what Donald Trump told you. I don't care if you're part of the MAGA cult, if you're a MAGA retard. I don't care what he told you. I don't care what people think. We do not have the infrastructure to send all these people back. We just don't. No, we don't. So one way to get rid of them is through the bounty hunter program. And what else signals to me that this is the solution? I'm going to explain to you why. Donald Trump, yeah, for sure, Titi Juju, for sure. She's like, Texans will definitely join in for that program. Jose says, I can see this coming to every state. Maceo says, I took out my Dominican cellular from my wallet and put it away. Don't need to carry it around because I don't want them to search me and be like, ha ha, you're going home, buddy. Yeah, the only reason, if you're Dominican, The only reason you should put that in your wallet is because you want to pay vacation and you're a legal citizen, right? Yeah, deport me back. I wouldn't say shit. I would be like, drop me in Punta Cana. That's my neighborhood. Joking aside. Anyway, let's go back to the topic. You guys need to understand. I know in this country there's a lot of, not you guys are smart, but the MAGA retards seem to think that make amigos go away is going to work as we're gonna deport all these people out. And they seem to forget that even though what Donald Trump is doing, many of his policies are going to benefit us economically, he's still part of the managerial class. He's still part of the elites. He's still part of that top tier elite that rules the oligarchy that this country is. Like I've been saying for the last 4 years or so, right? His friends are the oligarchs. They want free cheap labor. They want slave labor because cheap labor is no other than slave labor, right? And because the American peasants, we catch on how they are fucking us over, not letting us unionize. If you get unionized, all of a sudden your positions start like being threatened and they fire you and lay you off, because declare bankruptcy and come back up with a different name, hire a bunch of migrants. We started catching up on that, the American worker. So now they have to change their game. It's the same thing that they did to African Americans. Oh, you're not going to be a slave? We're only going to do that under the 13 and 14 Amendment. You're not going to be a slave. Now, if you look at the 13 and you read it thoroughly, you realize that these fuckers, right, said that you're not going to be a slave unless we put you in jail. So they started criminalizing black folks. That was the only reason to get them to still be a fucking slave. So now the peasants, right, because America needs its slaves, the peasants caught up on, hey, you're messing me up. I want this cheap labor out. I want them all out. We're voting for Donald Trump. He is our savior. He's the Messiah. He's going to get all these people out of this country, blah, 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 blah. And they think that this is not theatrics. They're going to, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but this is the way, economy-wise, how I see it working. Donald Trump is not going to piss off his friends. He don't want to get shunned out of society. He's not going to piss off his friends. So he's going to deport some of them, the excess of that. But he's going to bring this bounty hunter program nationwide. And that cheap labor is going to be for life. For fucking life. And what's going to happen is we don't have the migrants, but corporations still get their cheap labor. Does that make sense to you? Say make sense. Put the words make sense. Somebody put make sense on the chat. Make sense. Make sense. That reminds me of Jose. It makes sense. It makes sense. They're going to incarcerate illegal migrants and put them as a lifelong slave. Thank you, Jose. It makes sense. It makes 100% sense. Now, Morena says they are going to use prison labor to offset losing those migrant workers. Yeah, they're going to make the migrants the worker. Like I said, we don't have the infrastructure to deport 50 million people. We can probably send back 30. We can probably send back, if we are ambitious, we can send back 35. If we're very ambitious. But to be honest with you, I think our migrants are going to become, our illegal migrants are going to become the new slave of the country. They're not, you're coming here, you're a criminal, you don't have rights, you cannot invoke habeas corpus, which is something that we enjoy. For the people that don't know what habeas corpus is just you are entitled to a speedy trial, otherwise you cannot be incarcerated. They don't have none of this fucking shit. We do, but they don't. They don't have a right. It says what they will do What they will also do is exploit the worker visas as a backdoor to get them to stay and work. That's another thing, but I don't see that happening to the Latino worker, Maceo. And I'm gonna explain why too. Do you guys remember when I used to tell the the slow tips that Latinos needed to branch out of gardening, we needed to branch out of construction work, we needed to evolve into corporate, STEM, engineering, etc., etc. And everybody started insulting me and focusing on my weight and that my husband is black and that I was a coal burner and everything under the sun. Do you guys remember that? If you, and we're going to touch on that, if you do not represent the way green cards and visas are tiered, right, in this country, for the people that don't know, the priority is associated directly with how rare your job and your skills are. Let me repeat it again. Your priority to obtain a visa or a green card, if you are undocumented, not an American citizen, is 100% related to how rare your skills are. So that means if you're a gardener in your country, I'm sorry, you are third priority. If you're a construction worker, third priority. If you're an engineer, first priority. If you're an attorney, second priority. If you're a physician, first priority. And so on and so on. So on and so on. That's how this shit works. So good luck, slow tips, because joke's on you. Y'all thought that you were winning, that Cristo Rey was going to come save you, the three roots and all this bullshit. Where's all that shit now? Marcelo says, man, they were really upset about MK being black. That really triggered them something awful. I mean, it was really bad. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Jose says, I remember you saying that they call you everything but a child of God. 100%. 100%. So I'm going to touch on the tiers for the people that don't know how the system works. I'm gonna you know what, before we touch that, I want to say something. I commented something on my social media, and I don't want to call out my fellow Rican here, but Ramon, if you're watching, bro, you need to get on code. I'm sorry that I'm calling you out this way, but you have to get on code, bro. Like somebody say, Ramon, get on code. Because I posted, I'm gonna share with you guys. I posted this stuff. I posted this stuff. Right? And I'm gonna read you guys the message. Look at Morena, yes. Ramon, get on code, please, for the love of God. Get on code, bro. Get on code. I posted that in the 1850s, the Democratic Party, I didn't make it this way, Ramon. The Democratic Party said, but without slaves, who will pick up my crops? And in 2020s, the Democrats are saying, but without illegal migrants, who will pick my crops? I commented. I didn't focus on them being Democratic. Again, I didn't make it this way. I am a moderate, politically wise. That's why I voted for Jill Stein. I supported Bobby Kennedy when he was running. That's just who I am. But we have to call a spade a spade. Democrats are pro-slavery. They like it. They love it. Now, I put on the caption, tired of seeing even Latinos using this line as if we're not capable of doing the damn job if and when those greedy corporations start paying livable wages to Americans. Don't fall for this line unless you're okay with having Latinos work under inhumane conditions for peanuts because they have no rights like the rest of us. Either, this is the key part, either sponsor the migrants and pay them livable wages or pay American workers livable wages. Don't let corporate BS win. Okay? To what my brother, my Puerto Rican brother Ramon says, all of this is well and good. I would not make it a partisan issue, but Ramon is a Democrat issue, brother. Democrats are the only pro-slavery group. Anyway, he says, "Are you ready to pay $3 for a grape, though?" And I responded, "So we should keep slaves here so that our food supply stays affordable." Did I get that correctly? And that's what I mean. Rad, you're late to the party, Rad. Welcome to the show. Yeah, I'm Maceo, Ramon of all people. Ramon, I love you. You're very smart, and we agree on most stuff. But bro, you gotta get on code. You can't tell me that you're okay, that you can go to sleep okay, knowing maybe because you don't see that a lot in Texas, but I see that a lot here in California. These migrants, people think that it's humane to keep them here. These migrants are slaves, bro. And you mean to tell me that we should keep them as slaves because you want to be able to buy affordable food? Instead of calling out corporations and tell no, either sponsor them the right way and pay them a livable wage if that's what you want to keep, if they really want to do the job, and maybe we're not trained to do that, and they will do it for, let's say you don't want to pay us the $29 that it will cost you to pay us per hour, but they're willing to accept 25 an hour. Yeah, hire them. I have no problems with that. I don't know about y'all, but I don't have no problems with that. If corporations tomorrow, if farmers want to say, we want to still hire the migrants, we're just going to pay them $25 an hour to pick crops, I will be there supporting them. I will be sending them freaking sunscreen, and the good one, not the one with chemicals, the one made of zinc. I will send them sunscreen. Okay? Because at least I know that they can afford life here. But we cannot be in this sentiment that, oh, let corporations win and keep their cheap labor, even though it's at the expense, as if it's a humane move, right? Because we don't want to do these jobs. We want to do these jobs. But if you inflate the cost of picking crops from the 1940s to today's economy, that job is supposed to pay you $32 an hour. That economics, people in the economic sector have equated what that job costs in today's dollars if it was paid to American workers. It's $32 an hour. If they offer me $32 an hour for picking strawberries next to Radical and Morena, I will say yes. Sign me up. Like I said Monday, I will be there, long sleeve, hat, sunscreen, a neck fan at 4 a.m. picking strawberries, oranges, lemons, you name it. Cilantro. Okay? You name it. But you need to pay us a livable wage, or you got to pay them a livable wage. Because at the end of the day, the establishment keeps winning when we have brothers in the Latin community that think like my brother Ramon. Okay? So that is the problem that we're having, that we're still letting corporations go unscattered. Let the corporations have their cheap labor, because I'm too scared that prices are gonna go up. If prices go up, if you are gonna bring up prices, I'd rather starve, bro. But you're gonna bring those prices down because your food's gonna get rotten. I'm not buying it. That's just how it is. people need to understand those people need to be scared of us, not us scared of them. And that is the problem that we have with society. That is the problem that we have here in America. A lot of people are spineless. And I'm not saying that about Ramon, I'm talking about the American people. Marcel says, but do they complain about their wages? They seem pretty happy here in Florida working on the ranches and farms. No, they don't complain, Marcel, because when you compare being an American slave to your country, it doesn't compare. But if you look, even in Vice, I think Vice did a lengthy video of them complaining during the 2020 orange skies that we had here in California. There was a lot of illegal migrants picking crops that were complaining about their circumstances. They just never raised red flags on it because they were scared of getting deported. It's the same thing with H-1B visas. A lot of people think that these Indian engineers, these Asian engineers come in here and they have a good life because they work for Tesla and SpaceX. Let me explain to you how the H-1B visa works. Your employer holds your visa. They are your sponsor. That means that if you don't like your employer as an American, you can quit and go find a better employment. If they don't like their employer, they have to shut up, bury their head in the sand, and continue to work for that employer, no matter what the employer does. Why? Because if you don't work and there's a separation from your employer, you're sent back. Okay? That's just how it is. So that is a documented slave. Okay? So a lot of people just don't understand this stuff. I see that Morena says, Cesar Chavez fought in vain as much hasn't changed in over 50 years. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Jose says, at the risk of being called a Bible thumper, no one should take advantage of people, slave wages to pick up fruits. Yeah, that is 100% immoral for us to live off of a cheap labor and enjoy the benefits of that, claiming our food supply is cheaper because of slave wages. That I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm just gonna put it out there. Jose says they should not pay slave wages for anyone to pick up crops. No, but that, unfortunately, like I said to Marcel earlier, the slave wages, slave lifestyle here provides the illegal migrant an opportunity to a better life, at least the illusion of it, compared to where they're coming from. Now, one thing before I let people in, give me 10, 15 more minutes. One other thing I want to touch on that really, I don't know how to, something that upsets me a lot. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have seen Selena Gomez and her crying online. I'm not gonna play it. It's cringe. I can't stand it. And another person that irritates me is John Leguizamo. Man, stop posting shit. The Trump derangement syndrome has to fucking stop. And I mean that not only for the celebrities, but for our people. And I'm gonna put it out there. You've been known that Trump was gonna win, that because he was gonna run again, and there was a possibility that your family member, your tia, your abuela, your Teresita, your primita, your whatever was gonna get deported. This is not fucking new. Okay, this is not new. Obama built cages in 2015. I don't want to hear no fucking crying now. Oh, the kids. I'm gonna tell you something. I am a mom, and in 2015, those cages were built under Obama. And we saw children in there. We did. That was 10 years ago. 10 fucking years ago. And if 10 years ago, you became aware that America's law enforcement was capable of putting your child in a cage like a fucking animal, why in the realms of hell would you bring your undocumented child into this country I could never, you couldn't pay me nothing to bring my son under those terms into this country. You can pay me anything to do that. Nothing. I don't care. My child does not get put through that. So I don't want to hear people crying about the kids. The parents are responsible, because if I know that those are the circumstances that the United States of America treats the children of undocumented migrants that are undocumented, whose responsibility is to keep your child from that? Put it in the chat. I want to see people in the chat. Whose responsibility is, we've been in this a decade. It's been a decade since we've known this. Whose responsibility is to keep your child safe from ICE measures into deporting your child? Whose job is that? Whose job is that? Is that Donald Trump? Is not the American people? Is not white, black folks? Thank you. Bingo, Jose. The parents. Do your fucking job. It's your job. It's your kids. Titi Juju, the parents. It's the parents. Radical Latino. The parents. Don't give me that crap. Now, going back to John Leguizamo and all the celebrities that are in the cave. Where's Canelo? Canelo's worth almost $1 billion, if not $1 billion. Selena Gomez is worth $1.3 billion. John Leguizamo is worth $25 million. Eva Longoria is worth $23 million. Rosalind Sanchez is worth $14 million. Jennifer Lopez is worth $400 million. Alex Rodriguez is worth $375 million. Where is all these people? They're in the cave. Because I'm gonna go back to this sense of responsibility. The victimhood in our community needs to end. We're the perpetual victims. America is gonna deport us. There's nothing I can do. Oh my God, there's nothing I can do about this. Let me tell you something. You've been knowing, because Obama deported more people than any president before him. Okay? You've been knowing your ass going to your country. You've been knowing that this country does not want a surplus of migrants. They want them back. Donald Trump announced the escalator thing. That was 2015. You've been knowing. It's been 10 years. You know this. If you are a rich celebrity, there's no way in the realms of hell that you cannot start a business with your millions and your connections and your influence and sponsor thousands of migrants. Don't come at Trump now. Oh, Trump is responsible. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck ICE. Fuck this. Fuck la migra. La migra no tiene la culpa. La culpa la tienes tú. And for the small people that are calling about, oh, my tía, my abuela, my primita, you are responsible too. And I'm sorry, but I have to, I can't believe I have to go through this issue. There is if you have an issue and you wanted to keep your prima here, right? If you wanted to keep your prima here in the United States, you should have been on this in 2021. That's when you should have been on this. Let's say your prima is a young person, right? Let's say your prima is young. Well, I'm gonna bring my prima as an au pair. I just had a baby, or her other cousin had a baby. Look at the requirements of being an au pair. And my prima can stay here for 2 years. and we can figure something out, get maybe a green card or something. Au pairs must be for my prima to stay proficient in spoken English, a secondary school graduate or equivalent. That means if they went to school over there for whatever, they can come. They have to be from 18 to 26 years old, capable of fully participating in the program as evidenced by the satisfactory completion of a physical. Personally interviewed in English by our organizational representative who shall prepare a report of the interview, which shall be provided to the host family. You. Successful in passing a background investigation that includes verification of school, 3 non-family related personnel. She had to look for 3 amigos to validate her and en su escuela. A criminal background check, etc., etc. For you, the benefits with the au pair. What are the benefits for your prima? She gets to live with her family for 12 months with the option after that year to extend it for 6, 9, or 12 more months. So you get 2 years of having your prima here until you guys can figure out what the heck to do. Don't come bitching about Donald Trump. After that, professional training. She will receive a 32 hours of childcare training before you start. She can make extra money if she wants to. Childcare experience. Provide up to 10 hours a day or 45 hours a week of childcare. She will be fully employed. School credit. Complete at least 6 hours of academic credit. That means that she not only has to be here, she can also go to school, because that is part of the program. That is part of the program. Financial value. Receive up to $500 towards the cost of required academic coursework, room and board, plus compensation for childcare work. Of course, this has its limitations of age and so on and so on. But that was a freaking option. Now, option number 2. Look at Rod. He says, you know what will happen if all Latinos get deported? Coke prices will go up. Another option, your green card. You wanted your prima here, your tia and your abuela, because they don't qualify to be au pairs. Okay, no problem. Let's get to the green card eligibility categories. You could have gotten a green card for your abuela, for your tia, for your prima. And what are those eligibility categories? You can get a green card through family. For you to be eligible, you may be eligible to apply as a family green card holder if you are the spouse of a U.S. citizen or married child of the age of 21 of a U.S. citizen, parent of a U.S. citizen who is at least 21 years old. If you are a family member of a U.S. citizen, meaning that you are the unmarried son or daughter of a U.S. citizen and you are 21 years or older, married son or daughter of a U.S. citizen, brother or sister, you can bring your hermanos here. Another person that qualifies under the family category, a family member of a lawful permanent resident, meaning you are spouse of a lawful permanent resident, or married child, or married son or daughter, and so on and so on. If you want your fiance and her kids or his kids, you can bring them too. The widow or the widower. And if you're abused by your U.S. citizen husband or your U.S. citizen parent, you can definitely qualify for a green card under that. But let's say you're not related to none of these illegal migrants and you wanted to keep them here, then green card through employment. And you have all the options here. Now, remember when I told you guys that there were tiers to the priority, the preference that America looks for? And this is what I was telling Slow Taps. A first preference for a worker green card. That means that you will skip the line ahead all the gardeners and the nannies and the cleaners and the construction workers and the painters and the window installers. You have extraordinary ability in the science, arts, education, business, or athletics. Another one, you will get first preference if you're an outstanding professor or researcher. First preference if you're a multinational manager or executive who meets certain criteria. That means corporate, right? Now, it doesn't say gardener. No, gardeners don't have first priority. Now, second preference. That means that you will skip some part of the line. Are a member of a profession that requires an advanced degree. Engineers and STEM people. Second preference for people that have exceptional ability in the science, arts, or business, or are seeking a national interest waiver. Second preference, not for gardeners, not for construction workers, not for painters. Third preference, that means you are in the ass crack of the green card line, is a skilled worker, meaning your job requires a minimum of 2 years training. That means associate's degree or work experience. Third preference is a professional, meaning your job requires at least a U.S. bachelor's degree or a foreign equivalent. That means if you're, like I said earlier, like an attorney or you're like a social worker and stuff, yeah, third preference. And also, third preference, the ass crack of the line, unskilled worker, meaning you will perform unskilled labor requiring less than 2 years training or experience. This is for the gardeners. This is for the construction workers. This is where they land. So regardless of where they land, guys, we had a decade to plan. We had a decade to get everybody in line, get our shit together, get millionaires like the Latino elite to sponsor people. They chose not to. They chose to give you lip service and tell you fuck Donald Trump, as if it's Donald Trump's fault that's the American law. It's not his fault. It's not. I can't get mad at the Cheeto. The Cheeto's gonna do the Cheeto thing. The Cheeto is Cheetoing. It's not his fault. Stop trying to put responsibility in being a fucking victim. Take care of your circumstances. Fix your stuff. There were options. We chose to be lazy. We chose to flick people off thinking that the circumstances we were in at the time when we were being pandered to were going to extend for a lifetime. That was not the case. America, if you research America, and Black folks told you, read our history. And what people kept telling them, oh no, fuck their history. We're not gonna get that. We're not gonna get that. That was you. We don't care. Well, now you have the president of Colombia saying he's gonna bend the knee to Black Americans. That's what he said. You guys read with me what he said. He said he's gonna kneel in front of them and nobody else. Now they're begging Blacks, come save us, please, amigo. And America is saying, make amigos go away. That's what MAGA stands for. Make amigos go away. And they're going to go away one way or the other. If it's not deported, you're going to be in prison for life, being America's slave. That's what's up. That's what's up, folks. And it's scary. It's very scary that our elites, the Latino elites, please, guys, if you take something out of this stream before I bring people in, if you take something out of this stream, for the love of God, do not take your foot off the necks of Latino celebrities and elites. Those MFers have money and the means to sponsor our people. They choose to give us lip service so we can stay mad at what's not the problem. They don't care about you. They do not care about you. If people are pandering to illegal migration, there's only two types of people that pander to that for you to stay a slave: the people that benefit from that, or retarded people. No one else. No one else. There's absolutely no one else. So please, if you take anything from this stream, let it be that whenever you see the hypocrisy of Latino elites like Eva Longoria that lives abroad now, she's in Mallorca. She's like, oh no, watch my movies. Watch my movies. I'm out. I'm not helping you. John Leguizamo, like I said, sitting on his millions. All these people are not. Where's George Lopez? He loves to exploit Mexican culture and be rich off of it. Where is he now sponsoring people? Nowhere. Nowhere. No one is sponsoring nobody. Canelo that loves, oh, Viva Mexico, cabrones. Where is Canelo now? And don't, before people tell me, oh, Canelo is not a citizen, Canelo is here on an O1K visa, O1A visa. That visa is exclusively for entrepreneurs that have businesses here. He could have easily sponsored you. He chose not to. Stop playing games with me. Stop playing games with me, people. Stop playing games. Now, I'm going to put the link in the chat. You can click the link, and if you're not a troll, I'll put you up. But I'm telling you guys, this is some nonsense that we're seeing of the highest order. Some nonsense for real. So please do not take your foot off the pedal when it comes to Latino celebrities, Latino millionaires, Latino artists, Latino actors and actresses, singers, everybody. Everybody. Don't talk to me about how sad you feel, and that there's nothing you cannot do, and that you're sad about what's happening, and that you hate what's going on in the board, and that you want me to hate Donald Trump. No, 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 no. Open your wallet. Open your wallet. Somebody write on the chat. Open your wallet. Open your wallet. Radical, you're still on the chat. You can come up. I see that Jose is here. What's up, Jose?
Well, let me just say happy belated New Year to you, daughter.
Hey,
First of all,
New
first of
Year.
all, I first of all, let me. I said it to you in private, but I just want to express my condolences to your loss. Number one. Um, Now, in all fairness, until recently, I never thought about the concept of mass deportations.
Mhm,
But this is the way I look at it. Every country has a right to govern who they let into the country and who
mhm,
they can deport. Okay, everybody. Well, every country has the right to govern how they see fit. I mean, look, I've been to 5 countries. Okay, and I had to go through a process. First of all, once I landed, I had to present my credentials, and then I had to ask questions regarding what was the nature of me coming to this country before I was allowed to enter. Okay, so I don't understand why some people have a problem with with that concept. And what's even a bigger problem is people had years to try to do something to legalize their status, and the fact that they've done nothing. Okay, as much as I have issues with Trump,
mhm.
the fact of the matter is this country has a right to deport people who enter the country illegally.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And then they're saying, oh my God, Donald Trump was supposed to do, he said that he was going to deport only the criminals. Guys, what's the definition? Jose, if you can look it up, what is the definition of illegal?
Okay, just give me a moment, because
Yeah, sure,
that
sure.
I'm like 5,000 years old, so therefore.
Oh, stop. And I see that you commented. I like what you commented. He's like, so it is Trump's fault that people had the opportunity to legalize their status for years and failed to do that. Yeah, 100%. It's not their fault. It's not his fault.
Okay, I have the definition of illegal.
What is the definition of illegal?
Contrary to or forbidden by law, especially criminal law.
Thank you. These people are known as illegal criminals. I mean, illegal migrants. And that means they are criminals. I don't know why the fact that we have to define that to people today.
Uh,
It's so crazy. They're all
but
breaking the law. That's a
but
crime.
but you know something, Denise? There's a
Mhm.
problem with that. Now, would you like to say, or should I give?
No, please say it.
It makes too much sense.
These people are out of their mind. They're all criminals.
And
Nobody's saying they're violent criminals, though. That's the difference. They're not all violent criminals, but they're all
and
criminals.
yeah, and contrary, look, a lot of people can talk, but I actually dealt with these migrants for over a year. Okay. That's something that very few people can say. I can actually say it. Okay. I've dealt with these migrants for over a year. Okay. Now I get it. They come to this country because of whatever reason. But my question is, so you could not try to fix the situation in your country? And I hate to break this, but we cannot save the entire world. And I mean, look, at one point, Denise, in New York City, there was over 100,000 of migrants. Okay, that's twice the normal native homeless population of New York.
Wow. And not only that, I don't know if you've seen the mayor of Chicago saying uh that they're implementing immigrant justice program. Look, this is another thing, folks. And this is so like crazy that we have to explain this to people. People keep saying to me things like, "Oh my God, it's so inhumane the way these migrants are being treated." Mind you, there's going to be migrants that are going to get S aid. We know this. That is inhumane. There are migrants that are going to get killed. That's inhumane. There are migrants that are going to get exploited. That's inhumane. But I'm going to tell you something. Mexico, and I had to tell this to a Mexican today that was talking to me like crazy on Twitter. He ended up blocking me for this. I'm going to tell you something. Do you see Mexico putting rest areas with milk, cookies, and sodas along the way when these people are coming here into this country illegally? Do you see coyotes stuffing people in a humane way, bringing them? Did they came into this country in a humane way? Please answer to me in the chat. Did they came in here in a humane way? And last time I checked, they came in here in an inhumane way, in containers, and freaking scorching sun, starving, skinny, dirty, wet, without shoes. They came here willingly in an inhumane way. We're putting them in handcuffs and putting them on a plane. That is the humane way. The humane way is the way we're sending them out. The inhumane way is how they came in. And I don't want to see snowflakes melting, because that compassion is not translated to us when we are telling them, hey, can you regulate the fentanyl and the cocaine, all the stuff coming through the border because it's killing Americans? Fuck Americans. They're buying the drugs. They're buying the drugs. If they die, they die. That's them having their Draco moment. If it dies, it dies. That's them. And now they're telling people we should care more. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, right? My values don't allow me to be not merciful. I am merciful. I do want them to be treated like human beings, right? I don't want them to be treated like cattle or nothing like that. That's crazy to me. But don't be demanding stuff you don't pass forward, because y'all don't care. And last time I checked, and I'm sorry to, because a lot of people will call me divisive. I got called that so often it's crazy. I think I'm gonna get a tattoo that says that. Last time I checked, guys, these migrants that come here are the same ones that keep telling the American counterpart, and I am guilty of this because we do the same thing with New Yorkers because they're a different culture. Don't they call the rest of y'all gringos?
Yes.
Okay, so stop it. You say you're different than us. The American Latino that's helping the migrant today. I want migrants to understand this, illegal migrants or any migrant. The American with the right to vote that's covering you today, that's willing to run in front of La Migra to save your illegal ass is the same Latino that you call a gringo. Keep that in mind. Keep that, clock that. Clock that. Who says that? The Philly people, no? Clock that. Clock that. Morena said about the coyotes. She said the coyotes. No, they are the worst of all if you don't have a lot of money. Yeah, 100%. 100%. If you don't have a lot of money, whoo, you probably won't even make it. They don't come here in a humane way. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. So only American people is supposed to give you a humane treatment. Nah, fuck that. Pardon my
No,
French, Jose. Pardon my
no,
French.
it's okay. But okay, now at the risk of sounding like a Bible thumper, okay, I believe in compassion. I believe in mercy. But I also believe in accountability. Okay. Now, for the love of God, for the love of God, if you knew that you came to this country illegally, okay, and you've been in this country 10, 15, whatever number of years, and you didn't try to do anything to try to legalize your status, I'm sorry, I have very little compassion. I mean, because you're not taking accountability. If you know you're in this country illegally, okay, you should try doubly hard to do whatever you can to legalize your status.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. I don't care if you have to seduce an American. That should have been a movement. That should have been a movement in 2021. Seduce an American. Hold on, Rad. Hold on 1 second. Seduce an American should have been a Latin movement. And I want you guys to understand this. That should have been a Latin movement in 2021. Seduce an American because that will grant you citizenship. What's up, Brad?
Yo, what's going on? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Hey, Rat, long time no here.
I know what's going on. First of all, I had to go back and listen to why was my name. No, let me stop. I had to listen to. I had to listen to.
Get my name out your effing mouth.
Yeah, I had to. I went back to see what was going on, but Denise, I'm gonna have to say I agree with you 1,000%. The fact that since day one, I've been having this like message spit in my face, ridiculed, telling me I'm not a real Latino, this and this and this. To see some Latinos right now reaching across the aisle for handouts and favoritism, and not favoritism but help,
Yep.
says a lot. And these
Yep.
were the same people I heard back in them days saying that what the hell we need black folks for, you know? It
Yep.
says a lot. And one thing I will say, I think I was a little wrong when it came to the whole unification of black and brown people. Individualistically, I think it's a good thing, and it
In the
does
micro.
help in a micro. It does help. It does help individualistically. Collectively, I don't think it does because we are too fractured. We're two groups that are fractured.
Mhm.
We're two groups that are still trying to find our way. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're too broken. We're too broken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're two groups that are broken, and I'm not just saying that this for the black community, but for the Latino community also. We're very broken. We're very fractured. we have more issues than the black community lets on. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So
100%. 100%.
so like I said, collectively, I don't think it's a good thing to unite because we'll do more harm than good. Um, Individualistically, I think it is something good, but in the micro, like like you said.
In the macro, no.
Oh no! Don't tell me you're going to do an AOC now.
Yeah, and then
Well, in
Radical's
the
having his
micro, in the
AOC
macro,
moment.
and you know,
They up and the down. Right. One question that are you okay? How are you handling the mass deportation? Like, because that's something I have not asked people, and I'm gonna ask you too, Jose. This question goes for both of you guys. How are you guys? What is your views on the mass deportations? Are you pro mass deportations? Do you think they are being handled properly? Do you think this will benefit like our like the American version of Latinos?
to be completely honest with you, I am. This is the first time I'm seeing a majority like raid coming to New York as ICE is doing right now. To
Mhm.
me, I am fully for it because let's be honest, any mass immigration will hurt the populace later on. And on top of that, the majority of people who are getting deported are the criminals, and some of the non-criminals also are getting swept up with that thing. But either way, at the end of the day, this needs to happen. It's messed up, but it needs to happen because at the end of the day, the the fact that certain migrants are being used and abused, and on top of that, the citizens are being left out and saying that we're no longer hiring you because Jose could do it for 10 times cheaper says a
Yeah.
lot.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It says a lot. So again, I've never spoken on the fact about mass deportation. I'm not for it or against it, but at this moment right now, I'm totally for it.
Yeah, and that's something that, to be honest, there was a lot of people that used to ask me last year, like, "Oh my God, like, are you gonna be able to stomach mass deportation?" Yes, I am. I am, and as much as it breaks my heart, like I said on Monday, because I see the people's dreams and hopes being shattered. You got to understand, it's we want to help, but it's coming to at the expense of our own livelihood. And
Yeah,
if you cannot
and
feel for me as a migrant, if you cannot feel for my family and the food that I cannot put on the table, then why should I do it with you?
yeah, I want to add this one thing too. This is the main reason why Dominicans go so hard about immigration and DR with Haitians. The same thing that we're seeing here is happening in Dominican Republic. Also, like, well, I want to also say that Mexicans also go through the same thing with Guatemalans. You know what I
Yep, and
mean?
Salvadorians, yeah, 100%.
Exactly. So it's not an isolated issue. I will say this: I've seen certain streams and certain people from the black community praise the mass deportation, but in the same breath, call Dominicans racist for deporting Haitians. You can't have it both ways.
Yep. Yep.
You can't have
It's
it
not
both
a it's
ways.
not a it's not a race thing. That's
It's not.
something I told a person
It's an
today.
economic thing. It's an
Yeah.
economic thing. And the
Yeah.
thing is that certain people have their own agenda, and that's totally fine. You can have your own agenda, but at least make it consistent. You know?
Yeah, yeah, it has to be the same energy all throughout because it's the same thing sometimes when we feel like how is it that only when Americans do it is wrong, it's inhumane, it's heartless, it's ruthless, it's abusive. No, mass deportations is something that happens in all of our Latin countries. I pointed out Monday, we just saw, I reported on this, Rat. Chileans and Colombians that are now whining, crying, and bitching online about being deported back home. We're deporting Venezuelans and telling them and throwing shit at them and telling them to go back to their country. That was 2021. They didn't want them there. So why now they're changing the tune and they want like a red carpet treatment? Why it's so special about your illegal migration that it's not special about the Venezuelans? You don't feel you don't feel sorry for the Venezuelan community. You don't see what's happening in their country.
No,
You get my
I
point?
totally, no, I totally get your point, and I saw the stream that you had on Monday, and I totally agree with you. Also, there's one thing that we have to also be aware of. You know, yes, immigrants do bring in economic value to their country that they're migrating to,
Mhm.
but it's to a point. This
Yeah, to
mass,
business owners, to business
exactly,
owners.
the mass immigration that's happening now are not enlightened individuals that want to open up businesses, or enlightened individuals that are going to go into sciences or whatever the case is and going to cure cancer. These people are taking over buildings forcefully with AK-47s as a gang.
Hmm.
You know, these individuals are cutting women's faces to rob their purse.
Yeah.
So it's the majority of them are not the Albert Einstein of Latin America. These are
Yeah.
like these are the Pablo Escobars of Latin America.
Not only that, I don't know if you've noticed in mostly all the pictures that we're seeing. I want you guys to do a homework. Tell me, right, if you don't see able-bodied young men only, or at least the majority. Isn't that crazy to you? Like the majority of these people are able-bodied young men.
Yeah, the pictures that I see are not the
Are not abuelas.
mother
That's not
the not
tias.
the yeah the abuelas, the tias, the mothers that are carrying 3 or 4 kids at once. No, these are able-bodied individuals to the point where they're wearing Nike tech suits. I'm like,
Yeah,
what the fuck? How you
yeah.
got Jordans on before me? No, it's true
My
though.
goodness. But
It is scary, man. I'm telling. Look, I was telling my in-laws a while back. I do support the deportation because you guys don't know what cooks in our countries. We know, and you don't want that shit here. You don't want that. You don't want a narco state in America. You don't need that. That's scary. That is very scary.
I just wanna say something real quick before my time gets cut because I can't really be here right so long. Um, One thing that Republicans and Fox News have said, that the fear of a narco state, the fear of the South American station of America, that is a real fear. We understand that. We also have to understand how Latin America got there. There's more easier corruption in Latin America when you have money and you have certain accessibility of power. It's much easier to do it over there than it is to do it over here.
Mhm.
You know, there's more red tape over here. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but you have to be a corporation, you know, in order to move around certain chips. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
The thing is, the corruption happens over there, but it's more in your face. Corruption happens over here, it's more covert. The reason why Latin America is seen like a like a Western, you know, anything goes is because it's portrayed like that in the media. There's a lot of safe places in Latin America, but we also have to be very truthful that crime is high in these places because it's meant to be high in these places. People get money for for the amount of criminality that happens. We have to be very 100% sure on that fact.
Yeah.
Hey,
There are.
this is not happening in a vacuum. This is deliberate. You know, we have to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this is my thing, right? The safe places in Latin America are the first world countries. Like if you go to Costa Rica and not certain parts, if you go to rural Costa Rica, like that border part, you're fucked. You have to go to upper Costa Rica, maybe Chile,
I
uh,
get it. The same thing
you
in
know,
Ecuador. Listen, Ecuador is
Argentina.
being Ecuador right now is being overrun by MS-13 gangs and this new gang that they just implemented. And these new gangs are immigrants coming from every other country, just going into Ecuador because their economic standhold is a little bit more better than anything else. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, it's still happening. The point is that we have to understand that these certain people who are migrating here with good intentions are leaving a place that is unhospitable. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, the majority of the people who are committing crimes and everything else are not the ones who are looking for a better place. They're just
Yeah.
looking for a handout. They say, "Hey, listen, I could visit America, do my criminality over there, and I'll just get set free within 2 days. Then I could return back into the streets and do it again."
Yeah, yeah, and not only that, it's the one thing that people just don't understand. At what point 700 million people, right? At what point 700 million people become responsible for their own land against the criminal? I'm just putting out
No,
there,
you're right.
Latinos,
No, no, you're absolutely
like
right.
we cannot
There's been
all
certain
crump up
there's
America.
no there's been certain times where Mexican citizens went against a cartel and won. There's been
Mhm.
certain times where Chilean citizens went against their local gang and won because the police couldn't do it in these places or they're being bought out.
Mhm.
So there are examples of citizens taking up arms and doing what they have to do and winning. But like you said, it takes the people. We can't
Yeah,
just say oh, American influence. Yeah, that plays a part, but not 100%. We
but this is
also have to look internally. We have to say,
yeah,
listen, sometimes our people are fucked up. It is what it
yeah.
is, and we
It's
have to be real about it.
it's kind of like what Dr. Umar said about the black community in the past when he was saying that we like to get, he said, our community likes to get things that they want and let the government give them the stuff that they need. But that's us too, because if you think about it, we strategize and kick Spain the fuck out of our countries. You get my point. We were colonies of Spain at some point. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't get worse than that. And we kick them out. And we're here acting like bitches to the cartels. That makes no freaking sense in my book. We should strategize and take back our countries, do something with it. We're 700 million
No,
people.
you're right. Listen, back in the days, an average Latino will work, give some to the family, and invest it in himself in education or whatever the case is.
Mhm.
You know what? The average Latino is not doing that. You know who's doing that? The average Latino immigrant is doing that.
Yep.
More immigrants are self-educating themselves when they come here and bettering their opportunity than the American Latino. The American Latino, you know what they're doing majority of their time? Buying Jordans, buying video games,
Working.
buying, working and doing bullshit with it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
working.
Yeah.
Working and doing nonsense with it. They're committing more crimes than the average Latino immigrant. I've
Yep.
seen Latino immigrants come here and fill up a whole fucking class about taxes just to learn how to do taxes. And you don't see one American doing that.
That happened to
We
me when I went to the NACA seminar, which is a program specifically for the purchase of homes with no down payment. I barely saw American Latinos. The class was given in Spanish, and most
you
of
know
us
and you know
were
why? And
immigrants.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you come from a very, very fucked up place and you see an opportunity, you're not gonna squander it.
Yeah.
You're gonna see the opportunities that comes with it, and you're gonna strive and strive and strive and strive. And because listen, I can say that I grew up in a fucked up place in the Bronx. At the end of the day, I had running water. At the end of the day, I could go to a school and eat school lunch for free.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, I could have went to a church and got my whole groceries done in 1 week. You know,
Yeah.
there's handouts on top of handouts. In Latin America, there's not. You get pregnant as a female in Latin America, there's no government to take care for that.
Yep.
There's no
You're
government to give you
screwed.
food stamps.
Yeah.
You're done.
Um,
That's why
excuse
my
me.
chi- that's why my machismo is so big over there because now
You
the man has to
depend
take
on the
care of the
man.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So what
Yeah.
what I'm getting at, I might let Jose talk, but what I'm getting at is over here Latinos become lazy and they become too Americanized too fast. And I'm not saying being American is a bad thing, but we lose our structure and we lose our point at where we're supposed to be at.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Jose, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just to show the lunacy here in New York when it comes to dealing with the migrants. At one point, our mayor was asking New Yorkers to take in these migrants into their homes to get like I think $100 a night. You think I'm going to let some people from God knows whatever into my apartment where I work look like a dog, save up money to buy my to buy because I don't rent, I owned. You think I'm going to open up my home to some people just to have it, to to destroy it? No. And then to add insult to injury, Eric Adams was giving these people debit cards with hundreds of dollars to buy food because the quality of food was so crappy. How about trying to improve the quality of the food? I mean, and this is the crazy part. We go over backwards to help these people, but for our own citizens, we don't do jack. And I remember something that my mother, God rest her soul, said when we were growing up. It is not good to take the food that you give to your kids to give to strangers.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. It's not. It's just look at what Morena said. Morena said that's because we don't know the struggles because our parents made sure we didn't have to. So the drive and energy is just not there. And that's where
And
the
she
environment
and
plays
she's
a
right.
part. Yeah,
She's
she's
right
wrong.
on.
Look, like I
She's right on that.
evaluate.
But also, it's a double edged sword. She's right and wrong because again, we get too complacent. The Latinos have worked their ass off for their kids not to suffer the same way they suffered. But guess what happens? Those Latino kids become Americanized to the point where they're like, oh, I don't need to go to college. Oh, I don't need to go to school. They just drop out of school very early, don't even get their GED, and stay in and live a life in the streets selling drugs.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
So again, I feel like a certain struggle should be done and should be given. Saying like, listen to what I went through, so you don't have to go through that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I get you. In my, but even still, Rat. I have a son, right? And a lot of people don't, I think they don't grasp because they usually stay in the touristic areas of Puerto Rico. But if you live in the interior part, like I did, like the countryside, there's a lot of shit that I look at now and I'm like, damn, my son don't understand this. He got a little bit of it when we stay in Puerto Rico for 2 months and a half, and seeing him play, like trying to chase the poor rooster in the morning, trying to like grab him, I realized my son's never gonna know what it is to shower with gallons of water. He's never gonna know what it is to damn, like we have to, try to implement something to try to see how we can get like at least a fan
Se fue
on.
la luz. Se fue la luz. Get the
Yeah.
generator.
He's never gonna know what it is like, prende la planta, se fue la luz. He's never gonna know. Somebody, Don Armando, you gotta mute yourself because your audio is crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
he's never gonna know taking a shower with a hose on. I get it.
he's never gonna know the struggles of the heat. He's never gonna know the struggles of a hurricane. He's never gonna, and there's no way, like, to be honest, I can't really blame the American Latinos because there's no fucking way you can teach that to your kid. Like, there's just no way in America where you can teach your kid to be that resourceful, that hungry. There's no way. I can. But at the same time, I think as a migrant myself, even though I'm a legal migrant, um, I want my son to have the world. And I don't know if I'm doing it right or wrong. Like I think at some point MK steps in and he is the one that stops me because like no luxuries. We're gonna give him the basics and make sure he has a good education, but like no luxuries. Because if it was up to me, I will give my son the world. There's nothing I wouldn't give him because I went through so much as a kid and my parents gave me way more than they had, but I don't want my son to go through that. And I think, that's the whole reason why I came here. I had to scrub toilets like everybody else. I had to live in South Central like everybody else. I had to share a room. I was homeless for a little bit. I went through all of that so that my kid does not know a life of sacrifice. Like he is, like we say in Puerto Rico, en la losa. You get it?
Denise, I think it's
Yeah.
just perfectly natural, considering what you went through, that you want to spare Grayson the same thing. So I think um, time will tell. Like when he when he gets past the toddler age and and becomes an adult. I mean, then you will see, you know, and I think between you and MK, I think Grayson's going to come up very well.
Yeah, I believe so. It's just I know for a fact that he sometimes he will probably be annoyed like I was with my mom, because my mom grew up in La Perla and then her family upgraded from La Perla. Don Armando, you gotta mute yourself because there's an echo, please. Um, my mom moved up, like her family upgraded from La Perla to a caseria, which is the projects, and that was better than La Perla, of course. But when she will tell me, she's like, I had to walk to school and I had to walk through crackheads and people with needles stick in still in order for me to get to school, because the neighborhood that she grew up in was the roughest neighborhood in Puerto Rico. La Perla is
You
no
know
man's
what,
land.
Denise.
What?
Yes, since we're advancing so much in technology, your son can experience everything you experience in VR. So he could just
What?
walk around, going to school 5 miles in the snow while crackheads are gonna be, but he's gonna experience
Oh
it
my
virtually,
God,
and
that is
it's
crazy,
gonna be
bro.
so great. It's gonna be so great. He's gonna feel like he's been there for real. He's like, oh my
That
God,
is
mom,
so
I
stupid.
experienced the same thing you did. You know what I'm
Imagine,
saying?
mom, I went through a huracán. I know exactly what a fucking hurricane is. I felt the winds, and
I felt the
no
wind
tenía
because
luz.
I put my face next to the $800 air conditioning. I put it on high.
He
But
never, dude. If you could only, like, I swear to God, after a hurricane, during the hurricane, you're in heaven, but when the hurricane winds leave, if you're from the Caribbean, you know what I'm talking about. That freaking scorching sun, no power, fucking mosquitoes everywhere. You have to clean up. Obviously,
It's
the government doesn't take
humid.
care of
It's
you.
humid as
It's
hell.
so bad, bro. The
Yeah.
leaves, the trees that you have to clean up in order for you to get at least to the grocery store. There's no ice. There's no cold drinks. Everything is warm. I think that's why I'm used to drinking warm soda, because I've lived for months at a time with no refrigeration and no ice. So it's just, I don't know. It's so weird to me that my son is gonna be like 100% different than I am. But you're right. Anyways, guys, we're going to look at Morena. She's like, yuck. Yeah, it trust me, I drink you can ask MK. I'd have no problems pouring warm soda and drink it like it's cold, because I mean, come on. I've survived so many hurricanes that I don't
Listen,
know.
your son is gonna call you a campesina, bro. I swear to God. He's gonna be like, yo,
You know
mom, what
but
what?
the fuck you
You want to
doing?
know something crazy now that you say campesina? You want to know what were cops to us? There's no better like water to us than the cops that we used to have, which were cans. There was a point when my parents didn't have a lot of money and I was a little girl, they were still building their lives, where cans, my mom will open a can, use whatever the contents were, wash it, rinse it, whatever, and that was your cup, and she will give you water, juice, and you will drink out of a can. That was your cup, bro, and that was the best cup. Okay.
Because it
My
was
but
son,
you,
cold. It was always cold for some reason.
yeah, it was so good. I see now my son with this bougie 360 cups now for toddlers that are shatterproof, are no BPA, and all the songs. Like I probably needed a tetanus shot after drinking water. I don't understand. But to be honest,
Guess what? When Facebook makes Surviving Caribbean VR edition, your son is gonna experience all of that. All right, don't worry about it.
he's
but you
gonna be in
know,
the he's gonna be in the meta world, opening a can. Like, yeah, I can do this. I can
yeah,
drink
but
this.
Denise, your
Yeah.
son needs to experience what it is to be living in the great city of New York and
Well, hell no. Hell no.
getting on your
I'm gonna
subway.
I'm gonna send him to PR on the summers with my dad. My dad lives very rough. That man has the money to retire and live a comfortable life. He decides he chooses to live rough. And he loves his grandson. I know he's gonna give him a little bit of that sentiment for sure. But
Okay.
anyway, guys, I'm gonna start wrapping it off because it's 2 hours. So I'm gonna give each
Oh
one of
yeah.
you a minute
Oh no, no, I'm
to.
out. I'm out. I'll just say bye. But thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for
All right,
showing up,
peace.
Brad. Jose,
No problem.
I'm gonna give you a minute to close up. Give your closing statement.
Well, as always, thank you very much for allowing me on this platform. And I can say without hesitation, you have been sorely missed. I mean, I've done my part, but I can never replace you. But the fact of the matter is, he did give us a lot to think about. Now, as far as the mass deportation, I mean, the jury, I think the jury's still out on that because my concern is that making sure that U.S. citizens don't get involved in this stuff. But the reality is this: this country has been kicking the immigration situation down the can for years, to the point that now we're overwhelmed with these people. So, I mean, at this point, you got to do what you got to do to control your borders. With that being said, thank you very much. And I don't know if there's going to be a backstage. If there is, if not,
There's
then
not. I'm gonna close it down. But thank you, Jose, for your words, and thank you for showing up. Trust me, I miss it too. I miss it too. I'm gonna
okay.
put
One more
you.
thing. Do
Yeah,
you think we can have a talk this weekend, or you're going to be
I'll
busy?
I'll hit you up after the show.
Okay.
All right. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And to be honest, closing statements and on my behalf, uh, it's gonna get worse. Like this thing is gonna get worse. We're about to see atrocities. We're about to see all kind. I'm telling you, Donald Trump has only been in office for a week and 2 days, and look at where we're at right now. Uh, Again, do not, under any circumstance, start pandering to corporations with the whole but migrants do the jobs we don't do. If they don't do this, who's gonna do that? Don't pander to corporations. Don't pander to corporations, and do not take your foot off the neck of Latino elites. They're watching their people be deported, abused, and they have done nothing. And before people say, "Oh, you're not entitled to the elites' money," that's 100% true. My issue here is yes, but a business, like I told a guy today, John Leguizamo, for example, he can sell sliced bread for all I care, but sponsoring Latinos that will do it for half, right? Because that's what they always pride on, right? Latinos that will do it for cheaper will still give you profit. You can lose nothing with it. You have access to the best business planners. You can get PPP loans you could have gotten in 2022 to help these people. You could have gotten SBA loan and employ and sponsor these people. You chose to not make profit from a business and to also not sponsor your people. That's what these people are doing. Eva Longoria, again, I love her. She's gorgeous. She has kept up her beauty. She's amazing. I love her Desperate Housewives. Everything she does, I love. But I'm never going to forget that when her people needed her the most, she's in Mallorca having her best life and some wine. Never forget that. If you're a Latino that has some family members that were at some point illegal migrants, if you were an illegal migrant yourself, if you've experienced some messed up stuff, I want you to remember in Puerto Rico, when we went through Maria, you saw Jennifer Lopez, Fat Joe, you saw Bad Bunny, Residente, every single one of our rich artists put something in the pot to help us out. And we're seeing the silence of these Latin coons not helping their people in their time of need. Never forget that they gave you lip service when you needed support. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to thank all of you for showing up for me and for supporting me after long absences. I'm going to come back during this week to do one more show for you guys. I will announce it on my Instagram. Please follow me on Latin Splaining TV. I'm going to keep rebuilding my platform. This is going to be awesome. I can guarantee you. If you think these shows have given you a lot of info, you're in for a treat in 2025. I am back now. I have my season of If You Know, You Know. So now I'm back and better than ever. And to the Latinos that are going through some stuff, cuánto lo siento, nuestras oraciones están con ustedes, mantengan la fuerza, fuerza y honor, fuerza y honor. That's the only way we're going to get something done. As people, I get it, we gotta unite, but I will say it isn't until everybody is under duress that they're going to understand the value of union, not before, sadly. With that being said, guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much for joining Latin Splaining TV and for letting me get into your home and your devices. This is Denise Gonzalez for Latin Splaining. Peace.